It will be a 6-0 that you have to try and come back to. But either way, we are going to be getting into the game. We do have ourselves the comps. It's a little bit more basic on that side. Interestingly, Lime is actually the one picking up the raise here, Mitch. And it is your boy Lewis heading off onto a Sky. So again, it's mass changes. Fizzy now going back to, well, technically a controller, but the most Sentinel controller that we have. And then Alorante on the other side. Viper on Haven as well, alongside the Astra, the double controller. This is going to buy an awful lot of time in terms of delaying. And they are kicking things off over on that defensive side.
Well, the FUT fans certainly happy to see their squad back on the stage.
Are you?
Let's see if they can deliver. Already, we're going to lose Cracks as he goes down. Looks like FUT try to retake space, but the nade, near perfect, is going to be pushing them back out of Garage and sending the squad down through long to try and recover that space and maybe draw the sightlines.
Already. Yetzige, Mr. Fallen. They're going to be turning things back into the favor. Cider at the back of side. Oh, he almost manages to get away with a couple. Alorante there with the trade. And a captain, though, is going to make things work. Put this down to just Fizzy. 1 versus 2. Someone able to turn the tide back in these sort of scenarios. Has himself a couple of snake bites, but the element of surprise holds more value. And they've gone looking in the other direction. Timing here is going to be everything. And while the timing's there for CNED, it is going to be that 1-0 in favor of FUT. And as before, I think we have a few problems with the HUD. That'll be something that is going to get fixed, don't worry.
It's on the way.
It's on the way. I think it's the same on that one.
Checking the patch notes. But yeah, the opening here for FUT, winning a pistol. We talked about it before. You're in a BO1, and when you come through, in a BO1 and you lose both pistols, it's very difficult to get back into it. You don't get that second chance like you often do when it comes to a BO3. You can't have a flat map. The likes of Fokus, I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. Look at this push. A stealthy play coming out of this defender side. That Sky you're seeing is your boy Lewis as he gets a lot of ground and even the shot off onto Ada Captain.
Yeah, the trade actually not quite there. Yetzige isn't able to react quite quickly enough. CNED, though, looking to lead the charge. He is a force in terms of this entry capability. Yetzige as well, just holding on those flanks. That's the thing, they thought that was clear because of the push that's come through, and every single member of this roster, bar Lime, has been cleaned up. And the thing is, he doesn't have anything to play with. It's just the classic available for him here.
Yeah, really not the best of opportunities to get damage done. I like this setup as well. Cracks has just got the angle, ready to tap the head, and then a player down below, happy for the trade, which was CNED. That's FUT 2-0. And looking good to start this one out. But, you know, there wasn't really that much of a challenge in that round. We're not terribly surprised to see FUT come out ahead. It's this one. Just take a look at what Fokus are working with. 5 rifles, a couple of shields that have to go light to allow utility. But for the most part, we are looking at a strong buy for this defensive side. And this is where we want to see them get that round on the board. The test for Lime.
I wonder if Cracks is going to buy a rifle here. 6,200 credits and a pistol. You'd assume that he will buy alongside the rest of the team and just make this a fearsome buy, because they'll have enough to purchase into the next round anyway. And well, coming in with 5 rifles versus the same on the other side would be a pretty nasty spot for the side of Fokus to try and face from. And that's the thing, we already saw it in the last map. They felt they got off to a slow start. As we saw mentioned, I think with Gozen, they could get away with that. Well, they did. They won 13-4. But versus FUT, you can't. Like, and it's not even just because of the scoreline, the numbers. It's this team. If you let CNED get off to a flying start, he then starts to disrespect you. We saw that versus Heretics. Like, he would just dash into angles. Like, there was a round they lost, but he ran up mid and dashed behind them in short to try and kill them. If you let this guy get confident, he will destroy you. So someone needs to shut him down. And as I said, it is very odd seeing a raise and it not being Lewis.
Yeah, right.
It's intriguing. I assume it's based on maybe the fact that I genuinely think Lewis can play most agents. Maybe I've heard that he doesn't enjoy some of them, but he can play them. That's what I was told by their coach. He can play anything, but there's a few he likes. And so I think that might just be it, is that Lime in the past was more of a Sentinel, so as said, played some duelists like Yoru, still within the old roster. So maybe it's just a comfort thing for him more so. Obviously, Fizzy, I think alongside Alorante, there's no surprise. Both of them have played this sort of Sentinel role. I think putting them in on the Viper Killjoy, it allows for them to hold a lot of control and information, a lot of delay, and also a lot of utility and powerful ults. Like, that's what this composition really has behind it. It may lack a little bit in that explosive nature, though, at times. And I'm also going to look at Cider, because that's the thing. You look at the fact that they have all of Fizzy's utility, then you have the Astra utility, which is known for that sort of quick smoking, delay tactics, being able to slow with the grav well and everything as well. Then you also have your Killjoy. Like, this composition defensively should be unbelievable. Like, it should be about as good as it gets. So I'm now looking at this half and going, okay, Focus, you need to put up numbers. And that's going to be difficult versus FUT, because they're very good at the attack. Very, very good at the attack. And this composition also allows for that. They have so much utility to set up CNED as that sort of like tip of the spear. Like, you've got the Breach alongside Krax' utility. Also Krax as a secondary duelist on that KO. He's going to be nasty. He's going to be flashing through smokes. And that's something that Focus have quite a lot of.
Well, we're kicking this back off in round number 3. And we'll see what is to be offered by this defensive side. As we said, a potential challenge for Lime, but his early aggression's only doubled on by CNEDs. He's ran up through B, looked for a fight in A main, didn't find it, but now they come through the smoke, and Yedijay is able to just decimate, picking up 2 quick kills. Any utilities a little bit too late and a little bit too far away. CNED close, grabbing one through the smoke. And even as they try to fall back, they cannot escape this man's ire. 1 left, Alorante up against 4 of FUT's members, and well, they're about to get the information. And even after that first kill, whoa, hold on, he's isolated a couple of fights. 1v1's being offered and taken. High value for Alorante, and he might even get another out of Captain. Oh, the angle wasn't checked. Good try, though. Yeah,
understandable that he is fully focused on A-Link, because that's where the spike is planted for. Instead, it's actually the cross being watched for. But I mentioned, like, in these sort of early rounds, I was like, okay, what is going to be that factor? Like, are they going to be able to deny CNED? What he did this round was full sprinted through B. He had A-Link within the first, like, 10 seconds of the round. Like, that's something that you just can't allow to happen. Like, obviously, B retakes are quite common, but he, alongside Yedijay, basically sectioned off the entirety of A-Link and allowed for no rotation. That is so hard to play up against, and Alorante gave it a damn good try, but wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's round 3 rather, where often you are just going to take that little bit of a risk, you know, dive in, figure out where you think the weak point is, and crack at it. And it's exactly what CNED did with this team of Focus wanting to fight A short and A long. Well, they ended up having to fight back from those positions in towards B. This time, there's going to be a player there waiting, keeping presence across the map, and leaving A light. Well, because they've decided not to fight A, and somehow FUT seem to be able to predict these things, they're moving towards A. 4 players here and a bit of a fake being sold, but actually the rotations are coming in just a little bit too late.
Yeah, well, all the space is gone. Paranoia for the left side, pop flash for the right.
Nice shot.
And CNED running straight down the middle. Lewis, definitely a demon with the Sheriff. See if he can get anything else, because that's all they have remaining. Ult's also starting to come online. I believe Mr. Fallen might have got one just off the back of the kill. And the stun going through is going to delay the entirety of Focus as they look to get back into the site.
Good blind, good nade out of Captain, having to TP out, and he's right in front of your boy Lewis. CNED on his 3rd of the round, and Yedijay doubles up with him, closing that one nice and clean in the 2vx, but it certainly got a little spicy, I think. Great utility on the way back through from Focus.
Yeah, I like the nade into the corner, especially. Also, Lewis, I think, hit 3 headshots. I'm going to give him 2 of those, because this one
doesn't count.
Like, there's a few shots in a game where I go, I reckon I can hit that one, but I think I get that one.
But you know what's amazing about this is the fact that as he goes to teleport and Shrouded Step into the open and inevitably die, CNED swings.
Yeah.
So even still, there is a trade. In the worst case scenario, CNED's trading you, which, you know, I'll take that. I'll take those odds.
I'll sacrifice myself so you can take the game.
When I make my move. Well, CNED's put them in check in that round, and it's a mate as 4-0 goes on the board. 5th now to be competed for. FUT up against Rifles. The challenge, yet again. Considering the damage done in the last, one thing you definitely don't want to underestimate. Seeker's used here.
Yeah, I guess trying to look for those lurks, and that's exactly what they've done. Yedajay's been causing them problems, as though has Ada Captain. Close corner looking to be cleared, nobody standing nearby. In fact, Ada Captain somewhat looking the wrong way. He's fighting forward, his team are fighting back. Still, 2 players sat on long, a pot flash ready. It's not going to be easy to clear these out. And already Mr. Barnett stepping up again. It's just a defuse. Fizzy has to just stick it. He's going all the way, and they're going to have their first round based off a little bit of individual brilliance. But it still came way too close for the side of Fokus.
Yeah, that's maybe not one that you can repeat time and time again. But look, to get one on the board, get your foot in the door, you'll certainly take it. The 6th round that sees a finally some success on the board. Look at these spams. Nothing even close. Fizzy ending up 91 HP, 31 shields. Yeah. That's remarkable.
Barely a lick of damage. But I guess they just assumed, for the most part, he would let go.
Yeah, understandably.
Especially after they killed off 3 people, but that's a 2v4 that still came down to pretty much everything being lost for Fokus. There's a buyback in, there's an operator into the hands of CNED as well. Not the most common on the attack, but in his hands, I'm not going to be the one to doubt it. Lime as well has purchased back in, but also has that showstopper. And that could be the difference maker here. Bladestorm as well for CNED, so still happy to buy the operator even with that in hand. And now they're going to go back for this speed take again. It was massively successful last time out. And now with the operator turret on the top of the site, CNED, he's spotted everything.
They're just right out of there. So much space to play with for this squad. The garage challenge, not likely to come in for a little bit. Fokus using a showstopper. This is where I'm expecting, you've seen that paranoia fire out, but the knife hits. No more showstopper for Lime. The defuse being attempted, the spams come back through, but no one's on it. They're avoiding it, they're letting them empty their magazines before they attempt it again, but Mr. Fallen was holding on tight, had a few bullets left in the chamber to take them down. And now, it looks like it might just be done. 2 players left, time ticking away. Surely no chance, and they've made that realization.
Going to be a powerful afterglow, and this B site's starting to become a bit of an issue, especially when you consider you got a retake with a showstopper, and it's just instantly removed the utility of Cracks doing its work. But I think they're going to have to put some more consistent pressure on that spot on the map, because FUT, well, they're very happy to exploit that opening, and the retake right now from Fokus just isn't really up to scratch.
Yeah, this pause, I imagine, is going to be Fokus's pause, realistically. I think realistically, for Fokus, it's a perfect time to call this pause. Try and reassess where they're at and realize, at this point, it's not slipped out of their grasp completely, but it's about to. FUT are starting to run away with this at 5-1.
Shadows traveling.
I want to see a lot more from this Fokus squad so we can be confident in what we've seen from them earlier.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we realized that for the most part, I don't think Gozen are really going to be competing too much with the remaining 3 teams, especially their last game is obviously going to be against FUT. So it's kind of difficult to tell where Fokus stand thus far. And obviously, again, like having the depth of map pool is not really going to be shown here. It's best of ones. It's brutal, gritty. But thus far, it has been pretty much all FUT, other than the singular round that has managed to go in the other direction. And I think you can see just the sheer confidence from every single player on the other side. CNED, 7-1 at the moment, thriving within the chaos created by his team. And now, with that operator in hand again, it's a weaker purchase and an aggressive push-up from Alorante.
It's a nice position, and it does look like FUT might want to take things back in this direction. They made a lot of noise early on A. They showed them the cross and let them hear the steps, but now they faded back. The thing is, Fokus are reading into that. They're realizing that they haven't heard anything for a little while. And they've gone walkabouts to try and clear that space. The op not landing the shot, a rarity for CNED. It looks like they're filling back in the space towards A, unaware of the positions taken by their opponents. And sure, they'll find the first, but they've got a root cider out of this position. Great flash, gorgeous from Cracks.
I honestly think he's one of the best in the world at popping a flash and peeking the split second after it goes off. He's got that timing down to a T. There's no possible way you can react where you hit that shot before he does. And while now with the rifle initially being dropped, it doesn't look like there's much of a way to retrieve this. He had to chase. Okay, Lewis somehow wins that one, and now he's going to go sprinting behind. Can give the information seemingly to his team that they've gone in that direction, but they're going to group up, looking to try and trade out. And actually, bear in mind, they do have themselves a lockdown available. They might throw it in here.
Yeah, they are. They're committing it. Now, where's CNED going to go? He's way down on short. Does he just play it out? Try to... He doesn't have his dash even to recover space afterwards. He's going to try to go down towards A, grab a corner there. He's not safe. Is he going to get detained? No, just about made it outside, but he's so far away now that there's no way to deny that defuse. The round's already done and dusted. You hear the thrifty call. Despite the kills from CNED, it will not be enough. I think he did drop the op before he ran in, though, so they won't recover it.
Yeah, it's not going to be that extra bonus, but still a massive round for Fokus. I think just Lewis, I like the initiative there as well. It's like, I think a lot of players, after picking up that gun, would have gone chasing. Like, try to hold on to long, try and help them into position, but just knowing what ultimates they had online, knowing what was available for them for the retake, so much more value. And they're going to get their second round in one that might not have been expected.
30 seconds left.
Maybe this could be the start of a build back into the map, but from what we've seen so far, that hasn't really been the case. And they don't really reap the rewards in terms of the finances because CNED kind of killed everyone.
Must be nice. He did well, but a little bit too late. Flash out. Popped far back. CNED still safe. They know there's a player further down who broke that boom bot, but they're not looking close. Paranoia not going to land. No, but CNED lands two beautiful shots.
Side is 45 HP as well.
Wow.
That was almost their entire A-site defense gone within a second to one man. Okay, sure, he gets traded in the end, but it's not worth it. They've now got to try and, well, almost hope that FUT are going to go back in the other direction. They have a trap set up in Garage that, I'm not going to lie, I don't think is going to be seen.
45, and he stays this aggressive. Well, maybe it's a mistake. The headshot, though, doesn't really matter about the HP. More importantly, they've taken out a player, allowing them to plant on A and sit in a 2v4 post-plant. Fizzy, Viper's Pit online. You really don't want to let them get back onto this site. Could cause some serious headaches for the squad. That is unlucky. The fact that One Way blooms just as he rounds the corner, and those feet are clearly visible to every member of FUT.
I'm also really surprised they actually attempt this one, just because of the it's not like the finances are in a point. Like, if they saved with 3 players in the last round, I don't think it's as much of an issue, but they didn't. CNED managed to wipe out the other 2, and now you're seeing the impact of that. You're looking at Cider with 950, 700 credits for Lime, and well, Fizzy just desperately trying to hold on to the rifle, and that's going to be removed as well. So not saving is definitely going to cost them. And okay, maybe you could argue that some of the lower buy rounds have definitely been the better ones for Fokus, but this is not going to be a pretty buy.
Can only imagine had that Paranoia have landed. The devastation that would have reigned, but even still, it wasn't too pretty. CNED certainly earning his paycheck on that one. And now, well, Fokus, again, not down and out, but it's a tough round. They're going to play with pistols and just the one rifle on Alorante. See if they can get some damage done. The side of FUT feeling very comfortable. Finances building up and ultimates in case they need to recover. The one thing maybe Fokus can find value at the Viper's Pit, but using it in a round like this, especially when you've got a Sheriff, it's not likely, and with him dead, it's now impossible. Good kill, though, for Alorante. That's the... Whoa, that's the one rifle! It's picked up a triple kill!
Well, a German has just appeared next to us. Maybe that's the good luck charm for Alorante to potentially win the round. You've got that lockdown, which will force them back, but I guess maybe an attempt to try and retrieve the spike. It's going to give a little bit of extra space to add a captain as well, who might be the snake in the grass. That is going to give them an opportunity to try and get back into position. Alorante on for the ace. 3 more needed, but he's gone within a flash. And there is the flash to give that little bit of extra space to add a captain who's just going to take everyone down. Anything you can do, he can do better. But are going to extend their lead even further.
Craziest thing about that for me is that they actually had the From the Shadows to use that lockdown my mind.
One enemy remaining.
Like, that's not the thing that surprises me. The thing that surprises me is as Zesh is walking over here, Alorente gets 3 kills, he sits down, he instantly dies.
That is true.
I'm not saying
gonna
it's his fault,
yeah, exactly.
but like, you know, it just a coincidence.
It seems like it is.
A funny coincidence.
Claw through them.
What was that, Zesh? I didn't hear you.
Well, it's time to get back into it. 7-2, but rifles for Focus. This is where they need to find round success. CNED's already behind them. He's ran it through towards Garage, clearing out this area for his squad. As they plant on B, they've got C-Link. There's going to be a bit of a scrap for it, though, without a captain falling, but they haven't spotted CNED. 1 kill. 2 more opponents on the way, slowed down by the Cloudburst.
Hocus Pocus. There's CNED flanking Focus. Let's see if he can get anything more done. Just looking to try and do absolutely everything here. And actually, Cider's going to catch them as they bump into each other. Now it's left all onto Cracks. 1 versus 2 scenario. First goes his way, but the trade is instantaneous. They'll gain a 3rd round. Still, it comes incredibly close, and the problem for Focus is they're never winning any of these rounds with more than 1 player surviving. They basically have no finances to go back on if they lose a round in return.
This is so unfortunate. Look at that. CNED turns and dashes to try and get out of the site. Or tries to get onto the site, I suppose, onto C, but just out of dodge, out of the fight. And he's caught on Yedije. Ships in the night, both had their lights off, went straight into each other. And then got open fire upon. Unlucky. But this is exactly what Focus needed. Sitting now with 3 rounds on the board, 2 in between them. Sorry, 2 left to fight for. Actually 4 in between them. Quick math. Good opportunity now catching these players on long. Lime, blast pack out. He'll make it as well. He's around the corner. He's out of here. 1 kill. Showstoppers online. Could be a recovery. And FUT realized they've let him escape. You know who can't escape, though? It's your boy Lewis. He needs support. He's got it. Teammates on their way. Good shot to start. Trade attempt by Lime, and he'll catch them on the way back out. That's worthwhile. 3v3, and he's out. Showstopper online for the later round.
Yeah, the Killjoy utility should give up that this gap is taken, and with the smoke and Nano going in, they'll know that this is another B hit. But this has really been where they thrive, and I like this. It might seem like a bit of an overcommitment with this sort of advantage, but I don't really mind. Just putting that lockdown into position to make sure that they're not able to go back towards this B site. The only problem is there is no one on A. So instead of getting the B site after plant, they'll get the A site after plant, where there is no lockdown anymore.
The only thing going for them is this man's position, Lime up top. We've seen plenty of good plays from your boy Lewis. And he can use that rocket to try and survive the fall. 45 HP, at least avoid taking more damage more so, and that's what he's going to do. Up top, nice shot, and it's landed. CNED down, big player to eliminate. Unfortunately, the rest ain't so easy with rifles instead of rockets.
Yeah, this is the fun thing about this team right now, is that CNED is a huge player to kill, but you've still got to get through, like, out of captain, Mr. Farley, like, it doesn't get any easier from then onwards. FUT's depth looking better than ever, and that was the question I was going to ask with the Showstoppers, like, do you use it when it's so low on HP? And the fact is, he gets a trade, it's fine, but it means there can be no continuation from that. And he can't jump out the window. That would be the normal play, is use the blast packs, get out, take space. He can't do that because they'll kill him instantly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once he's up in the air like that, unless you are so quick in firing, and you're going to die. Like, yeah, it is going to happen. But he was at least going to take the space for his teammates to flood out a spawn and hopefully get the trade. Now, Bladestorm online. We've seen CNED be extremely fast in some of these early fights. It looks like he's going to go for that again. Obviously pumping the brakes just outside of B, hoping to find a victim. Eventually, he'll be making his way in. Whether it's the Bladestorm or the rifle, this man is dangerous. And there's 3 players towards A that are going to be challenged. Very passive challenge. I thought CNED would be the tip of the spear on this, but instead it's Cracks that's holding up close, that's taking them all down! One after another! This last round has no hope for Focus. They will end this half 9-3. I'm confident in that unless Cider can 1 versus 5.
With a judge.
With a judge.
With a judge when they have an afterplan. Basically, if FUT loses this round, they're throwing. That's what I'm saying. They're throwing so that they get to play more Valorant, because at the moment, this is decimation. I said at the beginning of the game, Cracks is KO is more of a secondary duelist, I think you kind of see why. It's just filth. It was one after the other, but he isolated them with his own utility. The rest trading was basically running through his fragment grenade, and it just made things so easy for him to just pick them off. He had to hit the shots, which, well, I had no doubt that he would. 9-3. For Fokus fans such as Zesh, you're starting to believe in curses, because I think that's the only way that they're able to turn this around. I said that this composition looked like it would work well on the defense. It didn't.
No.
And I don't actually think it's down to the comp. I think it's down to FUT just being in unbelievable form right now.
In the words of Homelander, it's just better. And it certainly appears to be the case. CNED, I don't know if he's got compound V in those veins, but something's going on. This
Compound
guy's
C.
unreal.
Ned.
Compound C. Ned. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And so do FUT. I'm certainly going to be happy with this signing. Tell you that for nothing. Speaking to Sinan earlier, and well, let's just say they're pretty fond of CNED.
I would have loved to speak to them just as they like won VRLs and said to them like, hey, next year you're going to get top 8 and you're going to sign CNED. And I think he would have slapped me in the face.
Yeah. Stop lying to me! Don't get my hopes up and break my heart. Well, they've certainly done well for themselves. Hello, right up and in. CNED's down. I mean, it was ambitious. The guy's feeling it. But the only thing he's feeling now is a bullet to the head.
It leaves this 2 versus 5 scenario as nigh on impossible. The post plant from Fokus looking good. And a good way to break back into this one. It is a long road to try and turn things around, but we've heard a lot from this team about the immaculate vibes, the confidence, like Lewis saying that it sort of like just felt good from them to sort of play together. We've seen the same across the board when talking to this roster, so hopefully for them, they've still got that positive mental outlook, because winning the pistol can definitely get them back on that road to recovery.
Like we said, you know, at 9-3, especially if you lose that pistol, it is pretty much over.
Yeah.
Now listen, there's also a follow-up to that. You kind of lose the second round. They decide to force buy it, but it's not a force buy. It's just CNED, just CNED,
just
with a Marshall.
Yeah.
Just a scoped weapon in the hands of CNED. It sounds like an easy round to me.
Yeah.
They made the right call, though. Look, they spotted him, they realized what they're up against, and out. Just looking for a C play.
We have 2 options. Well, 3 options. There's 2 sites with no CNED, and 1 site with guaranteed CNED.
It's like the cups.
Yeah.
You spin them around.
That's probably what they'll be doing throughout the game. They're gonna try and hide the ball, which is CNED, on one of the sites. And if you run into it, unfortunately, not like the game. If you run into the ball, you lose.
You know, imagine it must be like thinking about the guy on CNED's old team now, Artis. Losing to a guy like him, it must be frustrating in some way, but he's a guy you can hate if you're on the other side, right? You can be like, God damn it, he's killing me again. CNED's just such a happy, he's smiling.
Until he
like,
elbows a table.
That's true. That's true. He's like, he's got the WWE skills when it comes to that. But
you gotta watch out for bad CNED. That's when things get truly scary.
Yeah, it's like the Fallen back in the day. Yeah.
Exactly. He needs to get his alter ego going. But no, this round is looking as done as the last one. Maybe just trying to hold on to some players on the exit. They walked into CNED. Someone's head got popped.
Shocker.
The rest are all just going to back out through the defender spawn. And for the rest of the opponents, it's just a death to the spike. Make sure that you get...
They died to the spike.
No,
they're getting old orbs.
No.
I've heard that. I've read it recently. I'm watching you guys.
All right. That was a bit
I'm in the forums. I see you.
Yes.
Old orbs. Come on.
They do it because they get more loss bonus. Get more economy.
Exactly.
There you go. And if you didn't know that, how's it playing in silver? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, Tom,
Someone's gonna be like, I don't play in silver.
That's just rude.
I'm not a silver player.
Zesh just gold. Come on, don't be rude to him.
He is? Or is that just on a Frankfurt servers?
Bro, I'm telling you, if you're gold on Frankfurt servers, you're radiant. Like that's an achievement. I'll tell you that. Frankfurt servers is a fresh version of hell. Well, we're on our way in towards the B site. Looks like Yedije with that skin. I almost thought it was a bookie for a second. Nice nade. Your boy Lewis is dead. 0 chance of getting out of there. It's a rifle to finish him, but utility would have done just as well. Smoke back online, just now coming on. How the captain going to be firing that out? You have to imagine fading the utility first. You like to see it. Make sure that they're not able to kill you with the Viper util. Then the smoke goes down. Then the oh, it's a deep smoke. I thought it would be a little closer to allow that diffuse, but they're going for it up close now. Look, the peaks can come through. The battles can commence. They've heard the diffuse starting again. They know they've got a little bit more time, but Mr. Fallen's blocking it off. Oh. That's a stun, but it's not a grab well. It won't stop them from diffusing. Right under their nose.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know if that was miscommunication or what. I don't know if he didn't have the grab wall online and Fizzy thought he did, but Fizzy wasn't fighting. He ran away to go and peek. Yep. I think he also used up both of his snake bites at the same time.
I wonder if they even just, you look at the map, you see the star, and you're like, oh, he's got grab wall.
Yeah.
All good. And then he's just screaming like, no, it's a stun!
But yeah, Mr. Fallen getting those couple of kills in quick succession and then just having that player stick in that defuse, FUT have stolen around from right under their opponent's noses. You wouldn't know it, though. Because you look at the buy they're going in for, they're not risking it. They've got enough of a lead that they're going to play this one with a low purchase. Just a Marshall.
Just a Marshall, it's all good.
He's already managed to take full A main control, but unfortunately, the Atage's push has left them with nobody on C. Continue this all the way through. Fizzy has met the Marshall. And actually, the trades are going well. This might be some weaponry to be picked up, never mind. Lewis is fighting alongside Line. They're tagged low, no gun retrieved yet, still only the Stinger for Adacaptain. But if they fall away, he might be able to get himself a gun.
Well, even now, he has managed to reach over and pick one up, but with 60 HP, his chances are low. I like the reposition. Moving through B. Flashing Garage doesn't detect him. They start to worry about C long. Misdirection here, clear from his delay in the round, but you know what, Tom? Actually, he's got a smoke, and they're now playing down on long. There's an opportunity for Adacaptain to pull off another nasty round.
I think if they lose this, they walk off the stage.
Oh, he's going to bait them for a fight.
Oh, they've got the Tiger, so that hasn't worked. Now you're going to see the grab well this time. He's a little bit wary of all the players coming in from behind. Just going to try and stick it. A little bit of an obscure angle, but they had a nade as well. There was no way he was escaping that. I think he actually got wall-banged in the end. But, hey, Focus, they bounce back. It's versus, of course, a weaker purchase. It was a bit of a win the round, but still go for something a little bit weaker. Make things at least a little bit more promising. But no, I don't think that I feel like Focus has to worry about.
Realistically, 4 rounds behind. A couple of credits in the back pocket. 5.9 on Cider. The squad, no surprise really on the attack that they're not wanting the operator. But for FUT, it'll only be a matter of time before we see the economy flourish enough for one to come into play. That smoke pulled back has left them in an awkward position. The trade at least comes in with your boy Lewis down. The key thing is that defensive side now loses their smoker. A little bit more difficult to deny. Flash in, slowing down this showstopper, and they're safely out of its range.
Yeah. The goal to take the space, and that's exactly what they've done, but they have to be wary of Garage. There's 3 players coming in from that direction, led by CNED. Mr. Fallen alongside, good trade from Alorante, but Mr. Fallen's back. In fact, Alorante, he's actually getting cocky, looking for a little bit more. Has Liam alongside him and now left on to just the IGL. He knew the last positions, but they've doubled up. Looking to try and play together, maybe gives a small chance for him to get a magnificent spray down, but all the way back into the corner. A singular flash available for Mr. Fallen to play with, and I think now he'll realize the rough spot of where they're sitting from. Hoping to just get this one to half. We'll get the first for free. Now it's left all onto Alorante. He hasn't been missing, and he will not start now.
They timed that really well. Both times he has to get off that defuse before it's halfway in order to force that fight. Can't get a chance to really clock it in, and if he'd have gotten that kill, it would have been tough to finish out the round without it being halved. I understand why he sticks it the full way. Now the scoreline's starting to get that little bit tighter. Here's that smoke again. Like it's pulled back. Adacaptain wants the angle up top. By the time he realizes it's too late.
Shadows traveling.
Definitely like the ideas. I think definitely a little bit unaware of how quick those rotations were coming through in towards that Garage position. But the trades from Alorante were fantastic, and that's the thing. His individual ability, I think it's something that, especially if you don't watch a lot of the sort of tier 2 or the DAC League,
people aren't going to realize how good this guy actually is.
I think they saw them all with the knife. We missed it with the replays, but the knife came in on A long to start this round. It caught a couple of players, and Fokus immediately moved towards the other side of the map. CNED's been wrecked by that nade. 34 HP. That Blade Storm now so easy to take down in these fights. Well, maybe I'll regret saying that in a moment. Let's see. He's got the dash, the flash. Nash already picked up one for Cracks. Mr. Fallen on another. CNED almost going down to the nano. Has to be careful.
I almost feel like they needed to maybe gamble someone to try and get this onto half, because now that time, by the time they actually go back in, it's going to be desperately low. They do have the man advantage, but just look at that clock slowly ticking away. Another kill, though, coming through, but somebody has to get on this, and they're just going to be dying to all of that utility placed onto the spike. A nice cleanup from Fizzy and Cider. And very confident in his position.
He knows his radius.
Like, he was stood up. He definitely didn't.
He knows his radius. Don't worry. Don't worry.
He didn't even have his hand on his mouse.
Didn't need to. He knew he was safe. He's like, yeah, I see where the spike is. I see where I am. It's all good.
Yeah, as I said, I think while the lockdown was in, somebody needed to at least try and get that to half. Because once it gets to this point, clock too far gone, you still got a couple of snake bites, it's just a solid afterplant. There's not really anything that can be done about that. I think they even had a grab well afterwards. And I like this from Fokus, especially after the sort of blunder of that B-side take. Their utility in post-plants has been perfect.
I do wonder if Fizzy already had the ult online. If that's the case, it makes sense to dive on his utility instead of dying to the spike, so you still get an orb, but they don't get anything for it, right? Because he already had an ult. I'm not sure, or if he got it online from one of those initial kills. Either way, Lime up top. Good angle, especially going through this wall. An opportunity. Oh, Cracks is being chased down by the Boombot. That flash not going to get much for his trouble, but it actually might have blinded your boy Lewis up enough that he didn't see that util till it was too late.
Planting. So probably just took the hit for the team.
Could be.
Rolling Thunder. There's so much utility on the site. Lime has now managed to find one. Fizzy is just within this pit. A little bit of a whiff, but he gets away with the rest. And the remaining players are still just trying to find him. Fizzy, over the last couple of rounds, has been fantastic. And from a 9-3 scoreline, since then, a single round has gone in the direction. And that's the thing. I didn't mention it in that first half, but I thought the defensive side would be strong. The post-plant of this comp is filthy. And I think that might be now sort of the response that's needed from FUT is you got to try and fight them a little bit earlier in the round, because if you let them get into this post-plant, you got nano swarms, you got snake bites, you got grab wells, like they can buy a lot of time. This is looking like an old school ratty Fnatic comp.
You know, the priority of that Rolling Thunder was to be a little bit closer to the Viper's pit so that it caught people who were all the way back on long. Unfortunately, it didn't catch Fizzy. They just had no idea he could be that close because, well, surely he got pushed up in the air and backwards and we would have seen him. Yeah. But no, he had that small little blind side that ultimately cost him the round. If he gets hit by the Rolling Thunder, probably loses the fight thereafter. Players are only decayed a couple of HP on the way through initially. And then the pit falls, the round falls. Instead, they have ended up in such a gorgeous spot. And at 10-9, with economy up against the ropes for FUT, there's a chance we see an eco and an equalizer. Even with a bye, I'm not confident that it's going to go in FUT's favor. Not anymore. And this is a squad that, like you said, coming in, Tom, Fokus looked decent when it came to the defensive side compositionally. Didn't have a good defensive side. And so you start to think it's done.
Yeah. It's clear that they've got some great executes as well. I think that's something that clearly the prep work has been done. Especially in these afterplants, everything looks perfect. Especially, you have to bear in mind some players are switching up their roles slightly. I guess Fizzy and Alorente both have played this before. Maybe that's why they're running the Viper and the Killjoy. But everything has been on point. Actually, you can even have to raise him for post-plant. And Lime, wow.
Yep.
This time, he's going to take out that CNED Marshall. It always seemed to get a kill in these rounds. The rest of the purchase is not great for FUT. An equalization round looking more than likely. And actually, it seems like Yedaje is actually going to fall back, try and get some presence onto B, and FUT are going to gamble.
Oh, that dog has cleared everything. Yedaje in super late. They're going to flash through. It hasn't caught him. Oh, but that does a stun on the site.
That was so much util.
A nade, a wall bang, and a player peek at him. Not much you can do about that.
If he didn't die to the shots, the nade at him.
Oh, he's on the side out of captain! It's gorgeous! Straight down behind them on the back of a paranoia. Focus blindsided, but still they recover.
He's taken that right out of the Red Guard playbook. That was
That's
insanity. Just into the site he goes. In a round like this, I don't mind it.
Sure,
if he does it with an op, then he is
we have an
really
issue.
then he's gone to the Red Guard school of thought.
That's so nice, man. I love how he gets like 2 headshots in. He's like, that's enough. He's dead. Oh, he hasn't? Let me finish him off. Still, it's not enough to win that round.
10-10.
Not enough to do damage either. Like, look at the economy for Focus. They lose a couple extra players. They don't care.
The fight back has been unbelievable. They've managed to silence the majority of the players on the other side. Cena hasn't been anywhere near as consistent in this second half. I think Adacaptain was half expecting that smoke to fade. He got baited last time out, and now I feel like they're in his head a little bit. Smart stuff from Cider. But now it's a much more patient scenario. A deep push, maybe expecting some of a play-in to be the operator, of course, holding. But the thing is, with this Viper screen, realistically seen it depends how much he wants to stick around, how much he knows. And well, your boy Lewis is going to find out very quickly that Cena didn't go anywhere.
Okay, it looks like they're trying to find him, though. Locate him once more, but the rockets fired off in the wrong direction. The turret destroyed on short, but there's a second man holding it.
It's a ruse.
It's all a fake. Everybody rotating. They've used the lockdown. They've used the lockdown before the plants even come in.
Fallen for it completely. Bamboozled. And look at where Valorant is. He's getting traded out, though. Didn't expect the second player so close behind. This round from Focus is genius. They have made their opponents fall, hook, line, and sinker, but they've still ended in a massive disadvantage. FUT have cleared out the backlines. They've killed offline. They've killed off Valorant. And now it's left on to Fizzy and Cider in this post plant. They've been good so far, but he has to take a risk around that corner.
Time
Pushing. Mr. Farland needs to kill him off, and now they can get onto that defuse. It's left all onto Cider, just trying to buy as much time as possible. They've got him off, but the clock's gone! The clock's completely gone! The post plant from Focus is there yet again! Unbelievable stuff.
The patience on display. The smart play from Fizzy as well. This fake was perfect. Could not have been sold any better. The trade in spawn was good, though, for the other side. It's the fact that they take stock of what they've got left in that 2vx. They had a grab well. They kept it until the very, very end. Even that, the very prioritization of a grab well over the snake bites. So snake bites get used first because you can kill that guy. You can stop his orb from being up and you can defuse. So they burn those up first. Fizzy just about escapes long enough so that the orb goes down. They get on it. Grab well comes up. Time's gone. Beautiful.
Yeah. For a brand new team, the synergy between those players in particular and the post plant, disgusting. The risks they're taking with their calls as well. Cider not someone renowned for his IGLing. Lime though under pressure. This isn't over yet. FUT may be down, but they definitely are not out. 3 kills to start things off. And this time no plant, but Fizzy feeling confident. Mr. Farlin executed. A chance for them to break things back, but it's not clean from Lewis. 2 players to fight. You can't quite see the second one, but Adacaptain is there behind. It took them a long time to get back on this board. 9-3 up, remember. But FUT 11-11.
I mean, for such an incredible start to this map, FUT certainly aren't going to be happy with where they've ended up, with 2 rounds left to play for in regulation, and both of them needed by whichever team wants to take it. Otherwise, we're already in our closest game of the qualifier so far, but we could be pushing into an overtime. And to be honest, I think we're robbed if we don't get an OT here.
Oh, I want it. Like, we've had some blowout games earlier today. We've had a few tech pauses.
We got some time to make up. We're good.
But that's the thing. This match has been unreal. Like, I thought the focus after that 9-3 half were done, especially after once like FUT got back on the board with their 10th. I was like, okay, they run away with this now. And instead, just the post plant, the ratty post plants. Like, I guess we have to give some credit over to the coaching staff as well, because it's been disgusting. And you're clearly seeing what the idea is with this composition. Clearly, though, more to be had. A pause taken. And still plenty of finances for Fokus to play with, of course. They've been grinding out these last rounds, even though some of them have been incredibly close with nobody surviving. They still have those finances to play with. CNED Operator back in hand. Again, Mr. Fallen's top of the board. Has to be said, IGL fragging away throughout the day. The question is, can Fokus complete this comeback? Once again, prove that this squad, bear in mind, they beat Cloud9 last time at home ground. And no one to doubt at this stage. If you did at the beginning of the event, foolish. But I don't know if we expected them to do this well. Unless you're Zesht. Or Kubo.
It would be unfair to FUT to assume they would do this well, to be honest. But even in terms of what they're showing, this looks like a team that has a lot more reps behind them than they actually do.
Yeah.
Thinking very quickly on their feet, showing us diverse game plans. And plenty more left, one would hope. 2 rounds in regulation, both of which will be played. We're going the distance, and FUT are going right down on mid, pushing in towards the window, the timing, everything. Valorant round the corner just in time. The shot missed, but your boy Lewis and Cider have him covered. And now the advantage firmly in Fokus's grasp.
A chance for them to go 2-0 within the group. Them versus Heretics, it could take us to a mass tiebreaker if it goes Heretics' way. After FUT beat them earlier in the day. And maybe Gozen still have a part to play in what the Turks will be able to do if they don't manage to close this one out. I'd say from this point, I'm actually surprised that CNED's sticking around. But I'm definitely surprised he's jumping out the window. And there was no support. He's just taking a huge risk. And somehow Krax has come out with 2, but the nade is going to wipe them both out.
It bounced off of him. That's why it went in such a weird angle. It hit him. He headbutt the nade forward and then ran into it. That's so unlucky. What?
Oh, God. This is madness.
Look at this, Tom. Look at this nade. He throws it, and it smacks Krax. It smacks him in his own nade. Look how it's so unlucky.
Placing swamp grenade.
Wow.
I've not seen that for a while. And the fact that it lands between the two of them, it's like, oh, no. The Fokus are laughing after that one. I'll tell you that. 12-11. 1 round left to play for.
I think all expectations are out the window now. We saw FUT decimate Heretics in that first game. Expectations were that they'd continue that run. Now, Fokus have a chance to be 2-0 in the group. They weren't happy with their initial start. I don't know if they'll be happy with the start in this game either.
That's the thing. We're gonna, if they go 13-11, we're gonna come out of this and be like, yeah, we started so slow, man. We're trash.
Yeah.
Like they're just putting themselves down.
You know what? I'd rather start slow and play well in the late game.
Right.
And that seems to be their bread and butter right now.
Last player standing.
It's not about the start. It's about the
highlights. All the way back to the second pistol round. This is where the comeback began for the side of FUT. Sorry, for the side of Fokus.
Yeah.
And then onwards, there's only been
this is the unfortunate one.
2 rounds that have gone in their favor. Operator into the hands of CNED once again. As said, like you normally expect that Jet to have the impact on the defensive side, where you think of players like him, like Artis, Yay, all to name. In that bracket of Haven defensive players, there's plenty more. Oh, you got a friend.
Oh, hello.
A cat has just walked through the set.
Yeah, she's just chilling, going to find a spot to watch the game.
Big fan, of course. Big fan.
She's just sat on the wall over there now, chilling out.
That is Zoe the cat.
Zoe the cat, yeah. She's got a name tag on and everything. We were getting on well.
Didn't she,
for a minute.
Didn't she attack you?
We had like a minute of, you know, she was chilling.
Yeah.
I was rubbing her. She was all right. I think she might have smelled my dog on me, and that was it.
Do you not wash? You've not been home for a couple of days.
I've been home for 3 weeks, mate.
Careful there. Careful there.
Here we go.
One
pause. Maybe needed by FUT. Guys given the chance to, well, I guess just try and correct what has been going wrong for the side of FUT over this defensive side. It's not been great, but also Fokus have just been fantastic, especially in those late rounds. Initial space taken, a shot sent through just in an attempt to try and find someone. I think Fizzy might have had himself a spare operator in this round. Even still, though, it's only going to be Yerege on this site. Rotation coming through to support from Mr. Fallen. Yerege's been having a bit of a rough time so far. Only player, I believe, to not make double digits. Obviously, a new boy on the block. We'll see if he can do something here.
Nice shot by Mr. Fallen. Lime a little bit ahead of the pack on that one. Not able to get up to much after the punish. Good stun, though. Mr. Fallen. He's got this Rolling Thunder in his back pocket, and it's going to be burned up right here and now. That's caught a lot of players. That's put them on the back foot. 5 versus 1 now, just Cider remaining. The IGL. He's got to come up with his own strats. I'm not sure that this is how they envisioned it. We're looking at an overtime, quite likely. It could be out of captain to send them all the way. He sat around C, waiting for Cider to round this corner. Perfect prediction, and then he got ahead of himself. Turned away at the wrong moment, but he's got back in time. 12-12. We're going all the way to overtime.
Switching sides. Overtime.
I have to wonder, Tom, from the Cat's perspective, she's just sat there on the wall looking around the room. It's got to be perplexing, just a bunch of people looking at, I don't even know if they understand projectors or screens. They're just like looking at a wall. I was thinking like it's a very interesting wall for humans.
She's chilling, having a great time.
She is.
Comes back in, FUT start winning rounds. I'm not saying there's a correlation similarly to Zesh.
FUT need to get Zoe a jacket.
A little cat jumper.
Wouldn't that be cute?
Maybe little mittens.
Yeah, I don't think she'll let you put them on. She was not a fan of.
Maybe they'll let someone else.
Maybe.
12-12. Overtime on the cards. As said, either team who wins this goes 2-0 in the group, puts themselves into a great spot to make their way through, especially with the way the games have gone so far. For Fokus, taking down Gozen. On the other side, Heretics falling to FUT. And obviously playing each other's opponent after this game. CNED looking to try and take charge. He was unbelievable in that first half. Unstoppable for the most part. And they're building up as a pack, leaving Yerege on the other side. And Cider not ready. It's Cracks again. That secondary duelist taking that primary role. Tearing Fokus a new one. On the remaining 2 players, well, there's no point saving. He's got his ult even. He's going to remove their utility. One of the main things that Fokus had as their strength in this map was their utility, and it won't be there for a moment.
Fizzy was left fighting ghosts around mid. Now it's time to make ghosts of his opponents. 2 in front. Inside that smoke, Cracks looking for them. 4 already! No! He'll be denied the ace, and Fizzy even picks up another double, but 30 HP left. 1 opponent. Time ticking away, and it looks like he's in trouble. Can't get anywhere near that spike. He'll try his very best, sticking it inside the pit, but here comes the sprint through from Yerege, and it's him to win the shorty battle. 13-12. FUT go even further. Now 1 away from closing the map.
Yeah. Somehow that got close. Somehow Fizzy that one made that one look competitive, but this round was all Cracks. From entry at the beginning, a dry peek in, both duels taken with no utility. The paranoia comes through after. And yet he just wipes the floor. The skill depth of this player, second to none. (13-12). FUT just 1 away from getting the job done. Something we expected. CNED's gone back in for that operator. Obviously no shields available because of the cost. 5,000 credits to start these rounds. Doesn't allow for that extra little bit of shields. He's going to be vulnerable, especially he's playing around the edge of the Viper screen, which will take away a lot of his health anyway. And they are actually building back in towards his position. Needs to be something to clear him out of this spot. There will be the Tiger. I imagine spotting him from afar. Even going to send him in. He's stunned up. Just has to fade away from this one. They've left Valorant behind. Timing here is going to be everything. If he gets this right, he might cause them issues on the other side of the map. He's going to get pinged up. They know he's there. But CNED, he's whiffed. Not even fired a shot, it seems. And now 2 openers for Fokus.
That's an awkward one. Yeah, FUT being so close to victory, maybe. losing sight of what was still to be done. The flank, it's not perfect from Valorant because Krax suspects it. 4 kills denied, the ace that he'd almost earned in the previous round. The timing here, terrible. Alorante's caught him. I thought the flank was detected. It was, but he took just long enough. Hello, at a captain? He's just ran in. He's on the back of the site. They have no... Okay, they've heard the steps. Surely they've heard the steps! They've reacted anyways to the gunshots, and that's at least the bare minimum.
It's always scary when other captain gets a little bit of space. You go, this could end the round. This could throw the round away. 13-13. I think it'll be tough to find a better best of 1 than this today.
Yeah.
Fokus, Heretics, maybe can give it a run for its money, but I'm not sure if there'll be anything of the sort. Fokus once more showing why I feel like they're right on the cusp of challenging those VCT teams. They're doing it right here. A top 8 champions team versus a team that, well, they made it through the Ascension qualifiers, but not through Ascension. Obviously a different roster, almost entirely. 3 players changed and looking good for it. Your boy Lewis pushing up, taking a lot of control alongside Lime, but it's B. And the B site, wow. It worked very well for FUT, but ooh, they've not really cleared the site. However, they get away with it.
Oh, and it's a drop shot for CNED, but a much needed kill. A recovery on the double that was just found by Fokus. Repositioning, moving around to the C site, sending a flanker through spawn. A big fight for Mr. Fallen. He needs to win it up against Cider, and he's done just that off screen. 2 versus 3, spike planted. And the post-plant positions here actually kind of spread for FUT, especially with CNED. He's up so close. Bladestorm popped and ready. No updraft, no dash. He's not got any movement abilities, but he's got cracks to trade him, and that's all he needs. Leaving it down to just 1. Your boy Lewis, all of his utility belt online. Both flashes ready and waiting. Good shot to start. Cracks is down. Mr. Fallen, util in hand. The stun lands. Time bot. The flash, it's not going to deter him too much. He's got one of his own up his sleeve, and it lands perfectly. Your boy Lewis out, and FUT once again on map and series point.
This has been all about the attack rounds though, hasn't it, Mitch?
That it has.
Everything has gone down to the strength of these attacking sides. It's going to be who breaks the deadlock, who can find that change. This round still, they're coming close, even with an unbelievable post-plant. The thing is though, the time was one of the main issues for Lewis here, trying to get back into this with all of the utility. It's unusual as well that he has both flashes and a stun remaining at the close of this round. Another pause taken, and I can't blame them for it.
No, this is a big game. Reality is, for Fokus, their next matchup is Team Heretics, and yeah, sure, FUT demolished them, and close showing here, if we go by the transitive property, it's a BO1. It could be any map. And the reality is, Fokus don't want to gamble on winning that next one. Potential tiebreakers that could come from it. And I think more importantly than that, it's just not being able to relax, focus on that next day, and potentially take your top seed coming out. I don't know if there's a benefit when we go to that BO5 of picking your bans first, but I think it's fairly likely that there is. And so for this squad, it's not over if they lose this, but it's under threat.
Well, it's also just the fact that, I think especially for Fokus, going into a game versus Heretics, who we've seen 2 very different sides to them today.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no guarantee that just because they beat FUT, or even they go close versus FUT, that they'll be able to take that match over the line. So you've got to be very careful. And I think we almost have to, unless G2 goes and have managed to completely change things around, if they lose to Heretics, they're done. Like, I think that FUT go 3-0, then it'll be 2-1 for them. So getting that extra, getting that second onto the board could play a huge part here. And as I said, could create a 3-way tie if FUT manage to win their last game and maybe Heretics take a cheeky win on the other side. But we'll get into that later. We are 14-13. FUT with the upper hand, but as said, these attack rounds have been where both teams have thrived. Double 9-3 halves for the attacking favor. CNED with that operator again. Hasn't had much success, but at any moment we know that can change.
We've seen the form he was able to reach earlier. It looks like they're unknowingly avoiding CNED for now. He's on the C site. He's looking for Garage, he's looking for C-Long,
30 seconds
but
left.
Fokus have their sights set on B. A lot of success for attacking squads over here. B link closed down. They're not going to be fighting for that with the snake bite they threw. Will they fight for B main? Are they going into the left, or are they sitting back and allowing FUT to go for the retake, relying on some off angles that haven't worked? They've lost 2 players. A good shot by CNED, smoked down. Players outside of main are going to be in trouble. Cider able to catch one, but he's caught through the smoke. Cracks, keeps on going. And, well, unfortunately, that's a lot of HP off Yedage, but deceptive with the decay. Good spam back through, and it's left on one. Down the bottom of mid, Valorant gets them both! Keeping Fokus alive, one more overtime.
These guys in post-plants. It didn't necessarily come down to the utility this time out. It was a double from Fizzy, a double from Valorant. But you're seeing that skill depth.
Look at Zesh in the background. Just hovering. It's like a horror movie.
He's lurking in the darkness.
It's actually like a horror movie.
I'm watching you over your shoulder.
To be honest, I wouldn't want a Fokus fan standing that close to me.
Please send me screenshots of that. I'll be making memes. Please also send me your best memes of that. I would appreciate it. It's a challenge.
Are we making that a Valorant meme? Just Zesh lurking over Guy's shoulder.
Sorry, that just tickled me when we turned to the cat. He's having like the worst day of his life. Like, no, another OT. Oh no, you see Zesh stood emotionless staring. Taking it all in. He's probably just wondering, who am I interviewing after this game? This job's been easy
like,
today.
I've written my FUT questions. Like, overtime.
God damn it.
Oh, damn.
Hey, look, sometimes it do be like that. Looks like another pause, and again, no surprise. As this goes on and on, you've got to reinvent the wheel. And, you know, it's tough to do. On Haven, with these comps, you can do a lot of different things. From what we've seen, though, teams just want to go towards that B site, and with the success there, I guess why not? The problem is it's only a matter of time if you're going to be that predictable before they either stack it or they have a perfect response.
It's funny as well, like when you're Yedage on the other side, you got your debut, your first game goes kind of well, and then you come in and you're already playing like multiple overtime series. You're like, oh God,
yeah.
Is it going to be like this all of the time? Much more stressful, I imagine, than anything that's been there before, and especially with expectations. As said, like, you're replacing someone like Moj. We saw like a little presentation in between the games where I think it was like them sort of almost, I don't know if they were bidding farewell, but they had like the shirt and all the owners and everything with him on the stage. So it's like you literally have the guy you're replacing in the building. So it's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking when you're that young star that's looking to try and basically fight back and prove that, okay, yeah, they got top 8 champions with the guy before, but I can bring something more.
We saw even Fizzy giving us a little wave. He seems to be of high spirits.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It must be interesting because he's moved away from a full Portuguese-speaking team on maybe a little bit of a gamble here, because I think Saw were a great roster, but
Saw!
Fokus definitely have that.
I know Sue had me backed up there.
Right. Yeah, they definitely have that backing in terms of like having all of the background staff, investing into the coaches, the sort of like the analysts, and basically just having the support of the big Fokus community as well. So I think that this has to be a big change for him. I believe he's been on like multi-language teams before, like speaking in English, so I don't think that's a big problem for Fizzy. Having conversations with him is incredibly easy, so I don't think he's having any issues at all, but it is a change. It is definitely a change. And the fact that, well, they're already competing with a roster we expect to be in that top half for VCT next year, it's a very, very good sign for them and their ascension run, which will likely be coming. That's a great start, though, for CNED. As I said, on this attack side, he has just been a beast. Something so difficult to come up against. And Valorant, he's so unaware that he's just sprinted all the way through that side. It's looking like, again, FUT are going to have another opportunity unless this retake is sublime.
That's why I love seeing this guy. Oh, hold on. He's up above. He's avoiding not only the spams, but the nade down below and resetting for a fight. I love seeing CNED just speed checking people at the start of a round, getting into places they don't expect them to be that early on. And that's decimation. Once again, the attacking side comes out on top, this time flawlessly for FUT. It doesn't have any real benefit for them in an overtime, but yeah, I'll tell you what, morale is going to be high.
Yeah, but I think they know this is when everything comes crashing back down to earth. Like, they have not done well when it comes to defensive side. They were 9-3 up.
Yep.
I think 10-5 up. And from then on, they only managed a couple of rounds. They came right at the end. They almost lost the map before that happened. Fokus had things ready to close. Luckily for them, they didn't. And now they have to dig deep and find that once again. The last round in the 2v4, they should have closed it. It should already be done. They've been given another opportunity at a captain where he knows it's possible that's a fake smoke. And now has to question if somebody's already managed to cross over to the other side.
Well, there's the paranoia fired out. Now going into the spot where the nade bloomed just moments ago. Still, the smoke covers that cross anyway, so it won't be a complete unknown for the side of Fokus. Waiting for their players to move through Garage. The fight now on to CNED. He better be aware as he rounds this corner. Dash used to try and get out of there. We can see it on the minimap. He picked up the kill with Cider down. A good position to play from as CNED just keeps going off screen. Finally, Captain gets his chance to strike. It's awkward. It's labored. He's switching between for months, it's felt like.